Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to part two. Yeah, sorry about that. The initial recording did cut out at about an hour and a half, so I'm just continuing on now. So just bear with me while I look back at my notes. So I was talking about Robbie Williams. So I saw him a second time. This is 2018 on the 25th of February. The Heavy Entertainment Show. This time we went for a VIP package type ticket, an upgraded ticket, obviously more expensive, but we chose to do that. And I went with a friend, her partner Phil, and Rachel. So we all agreed to pay, that little bit more for a VIP ticket. You get a lanyard, and I think it was pretty ordinary merch actually. You were given a notepad with Robbie Williams on the front and a flask, like for hot drinks. So, or a water bottle type flask. So, I mean, that's a dime a dozen, isn't it, in terms of cost? So, anyway, that was what you got. Yeah, other than being closer to the stage as well. Okay, so next is 8th of April 2018 is Lionel Richie. Saw him for the first time at, it's called All the Hits Tour at Rod Laver Arena. I did buy a tour program. I think I went with my friend Robin. I can't quite remember actually. I did go with a second person. I think it was Robin from memory. 21st of April 2018, Harry Styles returns live on tour. This time I accidentally, I know, I am human, not an alien. I accidentally bought tickets to Perth. So I saw him at the Perth Arena. Ryan Heath agreed to come with me because it was my mistake at buying. But I tried to contact, I think it was Ticketek at the time, and they said, yeah, we don't do exchanges for errors or change of mind, the reason for change of mind. So I thought I could have just let the tickets go or resold them on Gumtree or something or eBay or something, but I thought, no, let's just go. Ryan was able to come. I did shout him his airfare and accommodation. I know you're thinking, gosh, your money bags or something, but I mean, it was just a domestic flight from Melbourne to Perth and back, and the hotel was just at Holiday Inn, so it wasn't like a five-star hotel. Um, Ryan is not a fan as much as I am of Harry, but he could have said no, Ivan. I'm sorry that you bought a ticket for the wrong city, but yeah, so he went along with me. We stayed 2 nights in Perth, and that was my first time to Perth. Yeah, I haven't been back since, but yeah, so that was accidentally bought in Perth. The same tour, the live on tour, I did see him again in Melbourne at the Hisense Arena. It was called at the time. I think it's now renamed as the John Cain Arena, I believe. Um, no tour program on sale, and again, I went with Ryan Heath. But I believe the second time, yeah, I forgot to note it. He just wasn't contactable. I think I do know the reason. I won't share it for his privacy here on this public forum. But I waited for him. I tried to text him and call him. There was no response. Obviously, the text messages went through. The phone calls just went to voicemail continuously, and I thought, this is getting close to the time. Where is he? Where is he? So I just rang around frantically at different friends on my contacts, and Max Bittensnitch at the time was able to attend. He's not a Harry Styles fan. I believe he was actually going to a movie at that. Hopefully he didn't buy his movie ticket. But he had plans that night, but he could see how desperate I was to not waste the second ticket. So he went with me. So thanks, Max, if you're out there, if you're watching. So, yeah. I guess you could say it did affect our friendship a little bit after that moment where he could have chose to text me, Ivan, I just can't make it. I don't want to talk about it or something, but he just kind of shut me off. So I wasn't sure what was happening. Was he in an accident? Did he end up in hospital? Nothing like that. But yeah, when you try to contact someone and they're responding, obviously, well, for me, all these reasons were going in my head, thinking what has happened. So anyway, so that, yeah, ended up Max saving me that night, coming with me to Harry. Um, Next one is listed as the 27th of July 2018, the Pet Shop Boys Inner Sanctum tour. They had a kind of a reprise of that run of shows, and again, it was at the Royal Opera House. This time I purposely bought the very back row in the upper section. It was the cheapest lot of tickets as well, in case I wasn't going to go, and in the end I didn't go. It was, I think, a combination of factors. Can't remember anything specifically, but I think that the big reason was that I didn't feel justified in flying over just to see the Pet Shop Boys only this time. I, as you know from my other concert archives, I try to see at least one or two other shows at the same time, especially when I'm traveling all the way to London. To try to see 2 or 3 concerts. But if I had have gone to that concert, it would have just been the Pet Shop Boys, and I thought it was a little bit indulgent and cost wise to fly over there halfway around the world just to see one show. So I didn't. And the ticket, yeah, it was not, not just pennies. It would have been, from memory, maybe £75 or something like that, plus, the booking fee and everything. But I just let it go. I thought it's at the very, very back row, so no one's going to miss me. No one would miss me. That was just me. So I let that ticket go unused. Next is back in Melbourne, 3rd of August 2018 with Suzanne Vega, the anniversary tour at the Palais Theatre. No tickets. No, I keep saying tickets. No tour program on sale. That was just by myself. I do remember being in the very front row. I got a front row ticket, seated ticket, and I remember at one stage looking up. Well, we kind of looking up a little bit. The stage is quite elevated from the seats, and at one stage, Suzanne Vega was right in front of me, on proximity to me, looking at me, and I was taking photos without a flash. I noticed not many other people doing that, and I thought maybe that's why she's going to say, could you put your phone away? But no flash, just photos, not video. So I got quite, clear shots of her right there. It just felt a very uncomfortable moment, but she didn't say anything. She continued singing. No one else said, hey, put your phone down. It just felt like an awkward moment. Anyway, so Suzanne Vega. On to the 7th of August 2018, Celine Dion, live 2018 tour at the Rod Laver Arena. I went at the time with a friend, Alice Sau. 13th of August 2018, Five Sauce, 5 Seconds of Summer, meet you there at the Festival Hall. No tour program, that was with Ryan Heath. So, yes, our friendship did continue after pretty much he ghosted me that night for Harry Styles, but clearly I forgave him, and he went with me again to another show, which was Five Sauce at the time. 8th of November 2018, Def Leppard Hysteria performed in its entirety and more. This was at Rod Laver Arena with, a tour program, and with Mike Gordon. 7th of December 2018, Richard Marx Palais Theatre was no tour program. I have mentioned this in my Ticketmaster archive. Okay, we're in the final year now, the final run, 2019. I saw 10 shows, so yep, if you're still with me, thank you for indulging me. Okay, 31st of January 2019 was Jay Watford. Jay is spelled J-A-I. Watford is W-A-E-F-O-R-D. It was called the Friends Tour. Jay was a contestant on one of those Australian talent shows, TV talent shows. It was his second Melbourne tour. I wasn't able to attend his first tour, and this was another chance to see him. This was at a venue called the Workers Club in Fitzroy. I decided not to attend in the end. It might have been onset of depression or something. My mental health wasn't very good at the time. And yeah, I chose not to attend his show. I just let the ticket go. It wasn't very expensive, being a small venue like that, but yeah, I just let that one go. Next is 22nd of February 2019, Bananarama Untitled Tour, Forum Theatre. No tour program on sale. I went by myself, yes, and I did see a friend there, Liz. She works for what's called Mariners. Mariners is the organisation that looks after venues like the Forum Theatre. She was one of the ushers that night, so we kind of joke we did see our first concert together, although technically not as patrons because she was staff that night, but I just happened to be standing near her because Forum is a standing venue, and where Liz was positioned, not interrupting her work as an usher, but I was standing in proximity to her, so effectively, yeah, we saw a concert together. Obviously for her, she was paid as a staff member. She didn't pay for the concert ticket as I did. I think that would have been her first time to see Bananarama. 22nd of February 2019, Rufus Wainwright, the All These Poses Tour, Australia. This was what's called the Melbourne Zoo Twilights. So at Melbourne Zoo, they have a section where they can have outdoor concerts. It's positioned in a way so it's not disruptive to the animals there that are residing in the zoo. So the volume is probably adjusted so it doesn't, like deafen the zoo animals. That was with friends Ben, Tiana, and I think Jessica was there as well. So I was one of 4 people that night. 27th of February 2019, Hanson, String Theory World Tour at the Palais Theatre in St Kilda. I went again with Alice Zhao, no tour program. 29th of February 2019, Red Hot Chili Peppers Australia 2019 tour at the Rod Laver Arena, no tour program as well. I went with a friend at the time, Ida Verbic. Have lost touch with her since then. 2nd of March 2019, Belinda Carlisle, the Runaway Horses 30th Anniversary Tour at the Palais Theatre. No tour program, I went by myself. 6th of March 2019, Kylie Minogue, the Golden Tour. I did see her at the ICC Darling Harbour, Sydney. Yes, there was a tour program. I saw it by myself. The reason for that, I was unsuccessful in trying to purchase seated tickets for myself, my mutual friend, and Rachel at the Sydney My Music Bowl. Those that know the Sydney My Music Bowl, there is only a limited number of seats available under the canopy, and you can imagine the popularity of Kylie. That's celebrating her 50th birthday. That's what I've heard believe. That's why she called the album Golden at the time, Gold 50th, and representing a milestone there. So that was only the second time that I didn't see a concert with my mutual friend. Both Rachel and I saw her in New South Wales. Rachel saw her in one of those winery venues where they have a winery at a winery, and they've got a section set up for an outdoor show. Where I saw her in a indoor venue at Darling Harbour. So Rochelle didn't see Kylie at all that time for Golden Tour. Because the venue was at Sydney My Music Bowl, and the demand outstripped supply, and none of us were willing to compromise and have lawn tickets. The Sydney My Music Bowl is in a parkland where the venue is surrounded by obviously a gated lawn area, so people just don't rock up without a ticket. But we didn't want to compromise, because if you're seated or standing in the lawn, you're obviously much further back from the stage. And once you're in that position, you're just looking at the artists on screen, on a big screen. So we didn't want to do that. So that's why we didn't proceed with. There were plenty of lawn tickets left over, but we didn't want that. So we wanted a seat, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to get. I was the one that volunteered to try to get tickets, and I knew it would be a bun fight, knowing that the venue was the Sydney My Music Bowl. So Kylie hasn't played there since, and I hope she doesn't ever play again. Maybe the Rod Laver wasn't available at the time. She usually plays at the Rod Laver Arena when she comes to Melbourne, and she didn't play at that arena that time. Next, we have 21st of March 2019, Bryan Adams, the Shine a Light Tour at the Rod Laver Arena. I did my tour program, and I went with Alice Zhao again. We're almost finished, people. 3rd of April 2019, Boyzone, the Farewell Tour 2019. Yes, it is the farewell, unless they do reform. I know other bands like Crowded House, when they've broken up and then they've reformed again years later. But so far, Boyzone are defunct. UK Boyzone band. It's sad that one of their original members, Stephen Gately, has since passed away. So I've never got to see them in their original 5-member lineup. This is the 4 members left over. But I still enjoyed it. And they did do a tribute to Stephen Gately during the performance in memory of their fallen comrade. So that was at the Margaret Court Arena. And last but not least is Shawn Mendes rounding off 2019 on the 29th of October. The Shawn Mendes tour. One of his albums was self-titled. It's at Rod Laver Arena. I did end up going by myself. I did invite Tiana, who was one of the friends that we went together to see Rufus Wainwright at the Melbourne Zoo Twilights. But at the time when the tickets went on sale, it would have been maybe around 9 to 12 months later that the concert was actually on from when you bought the ticket. And Tiana just said, "Oh, Ivan, I'm sorry, I can't commit to something so far ahead." And fair enough, some people work that way. They're not sure what they'll be doing around that time, so they can't commit to something 9 to 12 months down the track in advance. So I just ended up going by myself. Done, people. So yeah, so I just thought I'd supplement my videos with that archive I managed to find. Unfortunately, I have lost access to the more comprehensive granular details, which would have continued up until last year, the end of 2025. But yeah, sorry, mood lighting. I'm trying to get in the light. There we go. Which you're probably going to be difficult hearing me if I'm too far from my phone. Anyway, thank you for indulging me. This is part 2. It's only gone just under 20 minutes, so the first part is probably still uploading because that's an hour and a half worth of video. Yeah, I won't be surprised if I don't get any viewers. But yeah, this is very personal to me, clearly. But you might have, I would hope to think you attended some of those shows that I listed off. But yeah, I'm a massive concert goer. I mean, I know there's people, I know if he's still doing it, there's I've heard of a Kylie fan that attends every single show, not just every single show wherever their hometown is, but in every part of the world. So when she does like a 50 show run around the world, he will be at all those 50 shows and usually in the front row. Kylie has met this fan before, and some people say you're a complete crazed stalker, but no, he just loves Kylie so much. He's a fan in the sense of a good wholesome fan, not as like I'm going to cut her snip of her hair. But yeah, I don't know how he affords to do that when you follow literally an artist in every single date that they perform of a world tour, but he's managed to do that. I don't know his name offhand, but if you Google, Kylie fan attends every single show, you'll come up. I'm quite envious at that. If you can afford to do that, especially with your favorite artist, that's great. Oh, look at this. It's like film noir lighting. Anyway, and there's a bookshelf in front of me if you're wondering, and I haven't got the lights on above my bed. So yeah. Okay, I'll finish it there before this cuts off again. Yep, I'll upload this part 2, and thank you for indulging me if you've watched this in its entirety, and happy concert going to you if you've got a concert coming up soon. Bye for now, everyone. Thank you.